Thank you for joining us on another episode of SoundOrg TV. For this installment, we're stepping again outside the world of performance audio to delve into an iconic British brand, McLaren. The similarities between performance audio and sports car racing technology are not as weird as you might think. Both demand a level of precision, attention to detail, and engineering expertise to get the very best out of an audio recording or to get the ultimate in performance on the racetrack. Welcome to SoundOrg TV. So we are down at the Avondale Premier Collection, home of McLaren Dallas, and I'm delighted to be joined by McLaren brand manager, Simon Crossley. Welcome. Thank you for joining SoundOrg TV.
My pleasure, Steve. Thank you for the invite.
A fellow Brit, we should hit it off, I think.
Yep, transplants from England to Dallas, Texas.
So first off, tell us about McLaren, some of its history, and where we are now.
Well, again, thank you for the invite. You know, McLaren is a storied racing automotive company based in England, in Woking, south of London. Bruce McLaren, our namesake, was a real racing prodigy out of New Zealand, established the company 60 years ago, and really raced both in Europe, Formula One, and also in North America on Can-Am and the Indy series. So we're excited that that is our heritage, and that really is apparent today in the cars, such as the one behind us, are able to convey driver and passenger safely at very high speed with a real luxurious feel from road to track effortlessly.
As I said in the intro, the world of performance audio and performance cars shares similarities in engineering and expertise and precision. Can you take us through this model and show some of those engineering attributes that McLaren is renowned for?
Most certainly. It'll be my pleasure. So, Steve, the similarities between high-performance audio and high-performance automobiles are really evident, first and foremost, in form meeting function, and also in the use of advanced and applied materials, composites, lightweight, very strong, offering the car stability at high speed, but also safety. At McLaren, we say weight is the enemy of speed. And so, as an example, this car is constructed out of space-age aluminum panels, composite panels, and carbon fiber. The very front of the car, you can see this is the point, the tip of the spear that starts to slice through the air, and McLaren utilizes in Woking, the home of McLaren in Surrey, just south of London, one of the most sophisticated wind tunnels in all of Europe. It's so good, in fact, that other material manufacturers utilize time in the tunnel for helmets and bicycle manufacturing. In fact, the US Olympic bobsled and luge were sculptured inside McLaren's wind tunnel. This car was born in that wind tunnel. It's trying to do three things with the air. It's trying to dissipate it over, under, and around the car as smoothly, as efficiently as possible, obviously minimizing drag and allowing for maximum forward thrust. It's using the air as an ally to cool anything that's hot. If you can imagine on the car, this car has 4 radiators. We have 2 low temperature radiators, and they're fed through this beautiful element that's sculpted around the headlamp array. And that does only 2 things. It cools the intercoolers for the turbos, and it cools the clutch for the transmission. As we come around the side of the car, you can see the sculptured, superformed aluminum, carbon fiber composite gives us the ability to sculpture this in such a way, not only does it look beautiful, I call this silk draped over muscle. It gives you this muscularity on the car that just gives you that impression of strength and speed even when standing still. But these complex negative and positive curve angles are forcing the air around, under, and through the car. There is a vent down the side here, this beautiful aperture, which is part of the door, and it's feeding the high temperature radiators that look literally like saddlebags on either side of the engine, and that's doing all the heavy thermodynamic cooling for the engine and the transmission. Also, the engineers have found a unique way to craft both strength and stability with an element that is not only beautiful, it's functional because it's made of a transparency that minimizes blind spots, but it's also channeling through what we call a flying buttress, similar to what an old Gothic cathedral would utilize to give the roof of a cathedral strength and stability. That has the same physical property, but it's also helping the airflow down into the engine bay. And as we swing around the back of the car, you can see these magnificent muscular haunches. And the most pronounced feature at the rear is the air brake, the spoiler. This car has active aerodynamics, again, crafted out of carbon fiber, and it's articulating based upon throttle inputs and brake inputs. So at high speed under heavy braking, this rear tail will flip up and act almost like a parachute you're chucking out of the back of the car. It's going to be there to provide stability and downforce the rear of the car.
So everything is really light, rigid, and designed with performance in mind. So Simon, we can't leave this car without taking a look at what for me is one of the most amazing features of it, the door.
Yes, this is where form truly meets function. These are called by McLaren Dihedral doors. Super lightweight, beautiful way to enter and exit the vehicle, and sculpted out of carbon fiber and aluminum.
And lots more carbon fiber inside that we're seeing.
Correct, yeah, this really is displaying McLaren's prowess with carbon fiber. In fact, we were one of the first automobile companies to utilize carbon fiber in the manufacture of the chassis, and we introduced carbon fiber chassis to Formula One in 1980. This car actually has a mono cage of carbon fiber. The visual mass of this car, about 50% of it is the cage, but it only weighs about 300 pounds. Wow. It's incredibly strong, very light, but it puts driver and passenger inside a cage, a weave, a carbon fiber skeleton, giving them immense protection, torsional rigidity for heavy, spirited driving and cornering, and obviously lightweight, which is super important if you're trying to propel this car up to 212 miles an hour.
So what is the current McLaren lineup? What are the models or series that you have?
Yes, so 720 Spider occupies what we call the Super Series. We have a new addition to that, the 765 LT. The numbers denote the metric horsepower of each vehicle. This is 720 PS or 710 horsepower. This car is powered by a twin-turbo V8 4-liter engine that propels the car 0 to 60 in about 2.5 seconds. It'll do 212 miles an hour. I think one of the most impressive features is the fact that it can go 0 to 200 and back to 0 in less than 50 seconds, which is astonishing. In addition to Super Series, we have GT Series. And GT Series is designed the McLaren that will go long distance, cross-continent, with 2 occupants with all of their luggage. So it incorporates a rear hatch in addition to the front trunk. And again, built on a carbon fiber chassis, phenomenal car, super fast, but luxurious. And then we have a very exciting new addition to McLaren this fall called Artura. And it is our first in a series of hybrid cars. It's a V6 petrol engine mated to an electric hybrid motor. We're very excited about Artura. And finally, Steve, we have the Ultimate Series. These are the cars that are serialized, numbered, typically in quantities below 200 for the entire world. They're bespoke, commissioned. They can run in upwards of $3 million per vehicle. We're currently building the Elva, which is a windscreen and roofless McLaren. It's an incredible feat of engineering. It has a mechanism that redirects air, creating a bubble, literally a bubble that ensconces driver and passenger and speeds below 70 miles an hour. Because of this aerodynamic mechanism, you don't even feel the onrushing air in your face. You still probably should wear goggles and a helmet.
RAF goggles and helmets supplied.
Be perfect for that.
In terms of the the buyer of a McLaren car.
Yes.
Do you notice a similarity? What are these guys looking for? Or?
Well, it's all ages, and men and women, almost in equal amounts. I think the commonality is the sensibility to design, function, usability, drivability, but also there's a romance, there's an excitement, there's an experience factor that they're looking for. The design specification for McLaren has always been the and car, not the or car. So you're not having to choose between performance or luxury. You're not having to choose between incredible agility on a racetrack or efficiency for highway driving, low emissions. These are packaged in such a way you get both.
And these are all bespoke, customizable, to order, I would assume.
They certainly can be. McLaren has a special operations unit, and there are various levels of customization. But truly, if you have enough time and enough money, working alongside the specialists at MSO, McLaren can incorporate your favorite paint color, your favorite hide, your favorite stitch. A wide variety of custom options are available to you.
Well, Simon, thank you so much for taking us into the world of McLaren.
It's been my pleasure, Steve. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you for joining us on SoundOrg TV. If you've enjoyed this content, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have comments or suggestions, please send them to us. We thought this has been a fascinating look at the world of iconic British brands outside of the world of audio.